first talk a little bit about how I got introduced to the whole concept of a training center for blind adults.
Sorry.
I was first introduced to the National Federation of the Blind in the mid-90s, and that's when I met Paul and Mary Ellen Gabias. And what a fortunate and blessed opportunity that was for me, because it really changed the course of my life, actually. That's when I learned all about the Federation and also all about the fabulous training centers that existed in the States. Intensive training centers where you can go for 6 to 9 months to learn independence and blindness skills. We, of course, don't have anything like that in Canada, and I wanted to change that. So that's sort of when my dream began. I wanted to start a center, but I wanted really to experience the training firsthand so that I could really learn the model. So I was fortunate to receive a scholarship from the National Federation of the Blind in 2010, and I went to the Louisiana Center for the Blind. I got to choose which one. There's one in Colorado, Minnesota, and Louisiana. I think I just wanted to meet the alligators or something, because and I like really hot weather, so I really got to experience that. And I never complained about the heat, but I actually did a little bit there. It's like 110. It was amazing.
That's pretty hot.
So after a year, that's a whole other speech in and of itself. After a year in Louisiana, I returned home and began developing the Pacific Training Center for the Blind. So I know most of you have heard about the center, so I'll just give a little sort of a brief description. We're based in Victoria, and we provide, our program is called Blind People in Charge. We provide this program 3 days a week at the Victoria Disability Resource Center. We serve blind, deafblind, and low vision adults in Greater Victoria and elsewhere. Each day we offer instruction in talking computers, braille, travel with a long white cane, buses, cooking, cleaning, organizational skills, financial management, home management, and other life skills. We also work with students to become job ready, prepare resumes, interview skills, and even to find volunteer work to help prepare them for that employment experience. The other really important thing we do is we often have students that come to us who are unfortunately living in extreme poverty. It's the reality, unfortunately, for a lot of blind people in this country, because our unemployment rate is 80%, which is just horrible. So we often have to, before we even teach skills, we have to help people find adequate housing. And even we've helped people get on the PWD benefit and find housing. So a lot of the times we have to, focus on that first. So we really just support each other and work together to find solutions. We help students build confidence in themselves and to believe in the abilities of blind people. We have an exciting new initiative this year. We launched our pilot Homestay program, and our student Anne is here with us, and she's going to be graduating in June, and she's our first person to come through the Homestay program. She's from Chilliwack. So our out-of-town students travel to Victoria and stay in almost like a billeting type situation during their training. We're actually looking for help with that. So if anybody in Victoria is interested in hosting one of our students for a few months, that would be amazing. Particularly if you are blind too, because to provide that support and mentoring is just wonderful. So if you are interested in learning more about that, please let me know. Of course, the best success is demonstrated in the students' own words. So I'm just going to read a couple of quotes from students. Learning blindness skills provides a double advantage. I see it as moving forward. The more I can learn now, before I lose the rest of my sight, the better. It is wonderful for me to come to the classes. Already, much of the fear of what is ahead of me as my vision deteriorates is gone. Learning early what I will need to know while I still have some vision. This is empowering, and I now know that losing my vision will not deprive me of my independence. And that was Anne Moffat, one of our students who will also be graduating in June. And Anne is actually one of our senior students. She's 80 years old, and she's just one of our star students. Another quote, I was skeptical and scared before coming to the center. I didn't think I could do things without vision. Now I'm actually teaching other people how to do things. My son is blown away by what I can do now. I always used to ask him for help because I thought I couldn't do it. But now I always try to do it on my own. And that was a student that we had named Kashmir. And she spoke at convention last year, actually. This is another quote, I wouldn't use my white cane before I came to the center. Now I'm using it. Taking it into malls and around the city. Walking with more confidence and keeping my head up high. It has made such a huge difference in my life. And that was from Sue. Our center is unique. We fill a gap in service. We really offer the only intensive blindness skills program that exists, really, at least in Western Canada. There are some services back east, but it's very, very minimal what exists right now in Canada. There are some services where you can get maybe a cane lesson, 2 or 3 cane lessons, and that's about it, really. So our program is very unique and really very necessary. The other thing about our center is that blind people are truly in charge. All of our board members, staff, trainers, we're all blind, and I think that's really a wonderful and important factor, because we actually, it helps students to know, well, if they can do it, then I can certainly do it too. The other difference is that we use a model of training called structured discovery, and basically what that means is we teach students how to take charge of their own lives and problem solve, so that they don't have to always rely on memorizing and asking for help all the time. It's a much more empowering model. We also teach non-visually, so we use what we call learning shades. They're a blindfold, a comfortable blindfold that you wear. Our model shows people to use their other senses other than vision to accomplish tasks. And we feel it's much better than teaching people to rely on their weakest sense. We've evolved, over the last few years, we've really evolved as an organization. We've become much more sophisticated in our policies and documentation and assessments. We started with a dream and a lot of motivation and passion. We understood the model and the skills we wanted to teach, and then we learned as we went along.